So I saw Beetlejuice this past Thursday. Now I was really excited for this movie. I love the original Beetlejuice movie. It's one of my favorite Tim Burton films. So I went in with a lot of excitement for this movie. I thought this was a great sequel. To me, one of the best Douglas sequels. The only negative I would say about this movie is that the sequence at the end, they do like a dream within dream sequence, and I felt like you didn't really need that scene. And like the scene right before that, I felt like you could have had the movie just kind of fade off into the black, and that would have been a better way to end the movie. But it didn't really bother me too much. Like that's the only negative I would say. I would say there is a lot of subplots and stories in this movie, a lot of characters, like new additions, plus the original characters. But I didn't feel like it overdid it. Like it wasn't like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire where I felt like that movie became a jumbled mess with so many subplots. I felt like they gave everything just enough time in this movie, and it all kind of like came together at the end. So personally for me, I feel like he did a great job of handling like all these characters and all these subplots without ever feeling messy or jumbled or feeling like it's doing too much. For me personally, so that's one of the positives. I thought he did a great job of handling all these characters, subplots, and everything. And another positive about this movie is that I think the whole cast is great, including the new additions. I really love the new characters, like Willem Dafoe. I thought he was a great new addition to this movie. He plays this character in the world of the living dead, in Beetlejuice's world, where he was an actor that died, and I believe his actor played like a detective, which I think was a detective who was a B movie action star. His character in the living world, and I just thought it was really fun. Like it was just very funny when the fell in this movie, and I love the prosthetics. You see what he looks like in the trailers, where like half of his face you see his brain showing, and the prosthetics look fantastic in this movie. And Willem Dafoe I thought was a great new addition. Like I thought Beetlejuice's the actress who played Beetlejuice's ex-wife in this, I thought she was great. I love the scene when you first meet her and she's like her body parts in these boxes and she's like pulling herself back together. I thought she was a great new addition to this movie. I love the fact we get to learn more about Beetlejuice's backstory in this when it comes to how he died and the history of him and his ex-wife. Because I love the fact they go back to that scene in the original Beetlejuice movie where when he's trying to force Lydia to marry him. You see him like pull out a finger with a ring on it. And he goes like, "She meant nothing to me." I love the fact we get to meet Beetlejuice's ex-wife in this, which I thought she was a fun new addition to the movie. And I love the fact, like I said, we get to go more into Beetlejuice's backstory in this. And Michael Keaton, I think, is fantastic in this. Like, he hasn't missed a beat. To me, I love him as this character in the original movie. He just does a great job, again, playing this character that's a bad guy, but he's likable at the same time. And just really fun, the character. Like, at the end, I did feel bad for Beetlejuice in this movie. And he's just one of those characters that even though he's bad, he's just very likable. So Michael Keaton, to me, has not missed a beat in this movie. I think Winona Ryder, I think she's great as Lydia in this movie. Like, she does a great job playing that character from the original Beetlejuice movie, but older now. And I love the character in the original, and she just does a fantastic job in this. She just feels like she slips right back into that character very easily. And Jenna Ortega, I think she's just perfect casting as Lydia's daughter in this. Like, to me, if I had to imagine somebody who could play the character Lydia when it comes to her daughter in the sequel, like Jenna Ortega is perfect cast. And I think Warren Ryder and Jenna Ortega have great chemistry in this. Like you really buy them as a mother and daughter. And this movie did get at times emotional. So I love the fact it kind of had a lot of heart to it too, which surprised me when it comes to a Beetlejuice movie. So I thought the emotional hook worked for me in this movie. Like when it comes to the emotional stuff, I love stuff between her and her daughter and how Lydia, you find out that she did marry some guy when she got older and he died in a boat accident. And Lydia's daughter, Jenna Ortega's character, is like, well, why can't you see her? Because they show at the beginning Lydia has her own like ghost show, talk live show that she does, where she can see the dead, see the ghosts. And Lydia's daughter is like, why can't you see my dad? And Lydia's husband, and I love that. And this, to me, I thought that was a great emotional story. And you do get to meet him. They do get to see him later on in the world of the dead. And I love the like practical effects. Like you meet him and you see like this fist in his skin because he died in a boat accident. And I thought they just looked fantastic. Like this felt like old school Tim Burton when it comes to effects, and just this felt like a passion project for him because, for me, I haven't loved the Tim Burton movie since Sweetie Todd. Like that was back in 2007. To me, he's been kind of on a slope lately out of the movies I've seen of his, and this felt like old Tim Burton is back. And I feel like this movie did a great job of having new stuff while at the same time having callbacks to the original, but never feeling like forced callbacks or feeling like it's overdoing it with the callbacks. Like it has just the right amount of connections to the original without forcing all these callbacks. And the actress who played as Lydia's stepmother, Catherine O'Hara. I think she's great in this too. She was from the original movie, obviously too, and she does a great job playing this character in this again. Like I love the relation between her and Lydia. Like how it's different now to how Lydia was a teenager in the original Beetlejuice movie. How she treated her since she was her stepmom. So I thought Catherine O'Hara was great as coming back as a character from the original. And I love the actor who played Lydia's current boyfriend in this movie, and her TV producer in this movie. I thought he was really funny. That character, to me, he was like just a very like funny, fun character. So again, I thought he was a nice new addition to this franchise. And I love the fact we get to see more of the world of the dead in this movie. Like we go to that world. Because you have the whole storyline. You have the storyline here where Lydia meets the guy, and then she finds out later on that, Lydia's daughter meets the guy, a boy. And you find out later on that he's actually a ghost. And you think at first he's a nice guy, and then he tricks Lydia's daughter because you see Lydia's daughter and the boy getting close, they're starting to like each other. And he tricks her so he can go back to the living, and so that way her life is the same for his. And I thought he was a nice new addition as character too to this movie, and I just love the fact like that leads to them going to that world of the dead, Lydia's daughter, where Lydia has to go and save her. So again, a nice emotional hook there, and it felt really cool just to explore more of the world of the living dead in this movie. Like we saw some of that world in the original, but I love if I forget to really go into that world more in this one. So I felt like they kind of expanded it a little bit. But overall, I thought this was just a great Lego sequel. I thought the humor worked. The humor felt like the type of humor you had in the Wizzo movie, where it was just really funny and kind of like dark humor. So overall, I definitely say check out Beetlejuice at the theaters. Like the whole cast is great. To me, Michael Keaton, this is like one of his best roles, Beetlejuice. And this is a movie I highly recommend you go see at the theaters, especially if you love the original. Like it's just, like I said, a great Lego sequel, and just a really fun time when it comes to, if you're looking for just a really fun, spooky movie to see in theaters. So that's my thoughts on Beetlejuice. Until next time, movie fans.